What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with a little bit of hot topics, you guys. So this is the week's hottest topics. This is number 64, you guys, and these are going to be the hot topics for the week of May 22nd through May the 27th, you guys. So this week has been a hell of a week, hasn't it? It's been one hell of a week, but we've made it. And if we are going into the holiday weekend, so I want you guys to enjoy your Memorial Day. Be safe out there, you guys. That is the number one thing, to be safe. So my Memorial Day is going to start early today. I'm recording this on Thursday afternoon, but my Memorial Day, you guys are going to see this on Friday morning. So my Memorial Day is going to start on Friday at 2 p.m. So throughout the entire summer, I like my job so far. My job, I'm still gonna give you guys a vlog about my job. I'm gonna give you guys a vlog. It's just gonna give me some time to get settled, give me time to get an apartment and to get settled, and we'll definitely do that vlog for you guys. But yeah, so starting Memorial Day weekend, which is this weekend, every Friday up until Labor Day, we can leave work 2 hours early. So my shift ends at 4:30, so I will be getting off work tomorrow at 2:30, or if I go in at 7 in the morning, I can get off at 3, whichever one. So you can leave 2 hours early. So I'm gonna start my weekend at 2:30 tomorrow, and well, you guys, it's today for you guys, but I'm starting my weekend early, and I hope you guys, when you guys start your weekend, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. But you guys are here for some hot topics, not about my job and me starting my weekend early. So let's get into these hot topics, shall we? Let's discuss what is hot and what is trending this week, shall we? Shall we? I just gotta breathe a big sigh because I just don't know what's going on with this country. So today is Thursday. This happened Tuesday, right? Yes, this happened Tuesday. And this happened, I had never heard of this town before, and I'm a Texan, but it's Uvalde, Texas, and it's just outside of San Antonio. So San Antonio from my hometown, that's 8 hours a drive. And I've been to San Antonio before. I've been to the Alamo. I've been to Six Flags in San Antonio, so that's a good drive. And San Antonio is a nice place, but like I said, Uvalde is outside of San Antonio. So I got home and I turned on the news and I see this news report where this gunman went into an elementary school, and at that time I think the death toll was still too high, but I think at the time the death toll was around, I think that time they were counting 14 dead, and I was including 2 teachers at the time. So then over the course of the night, here in Dallas, they were doing live coverage of it. So by 10 o'clock that night, I think we were up to 16 deaths. Then I woke up Wednesday morning, which was yesterday. I woke up yesterday and the death toll was at 19. So it was 19 children that had died, and it was 2 teachers that had died. And I know that one of the teachers, she was shielding her students from this gunman. And we're not going to say his name on this channel. He gets no light, no nothing from me. So he can burn in eternal hell for all I care. So, these kids, I'm gonna try not to cry, you guys, because I've been crying since this happened, and I'm gonna do my best not to. But these kids range in ages from 10 to 8, and it broke my heart because, one, these are babies. They didn't even get to live their lives out before this terrorist went into this school and killed them for no reason. What reason can you have to murder innocent children? Innocent children. There's no reason There's no reason. There's no reason. These children did absolutely nothing to him. So he also shot his grandmother. The last time I heard, his grandmother was in critical condition because he shot her in the face. What broke my heart the most was when I heard that one of the little girls who did die, she tried to call the police and unsuccessful because from the reports that I've heard, he told these kids, "You're going to die." That is despicable and that is disgusting. So the reason why this hit me so hard yesterday is because, okay, you guys, I'm trying my hardest not to, but I have cousins, 6 cousins that were born, because these kids were born between 2012 and 2013. Because I have I have 6 little cousins that are all either they're 9 years old now or they'll be 9 later this year. And I thought about one of them in particular, and I couldn't even imagine if his mother called me. Oh God, don't do it. Don't cry. Do not cry. Don't do it. I couldn't imagine if his mom had called me and told me that he was gone, because I would literally lose it. You know, he and I, we argue and we fight with each other, but at the end of the day, that is my little cousin and I love him to death. And I can't imagine what these parents are going through. You guys, I was trying my hardest not to cry. I couldn't imagine what these parents are going through, because that is devastating. They sent their kids to school that morning, expecting to go back later that afternoon and pick up their kids. Who would have imagined that they would be going to a school to identify their kids, and then the fact that they had to do DNA swabs to identify their children? I can't understand it, you guys. I can't understand this. I can't. I literally can't understand it. I can't. So, like I said, there were 2 teachers that passed away as well. And I was just watching the news a few minutes ago before I came on here, and one of the women, her husband, he just passed away. He had a heart attack. And, you know, his family members are saying that they believe that he died of a broken heart. And absolutely, because they were together for almost 30 years. You spent a good chunk of your life with this person, and now she's gone. So now I say this. So you see on social media, you see these Republicans extending their thoughts and their prayers and their well wishes. And honestly, I would say shove them where the sun don't shine, especially for Wheelchair Willie, aka our governor here in Texas. He did a press conference yesterday and he was interrupted by Beto O'Rourke, who is running against him. And I will say this, if you live in Texas, the election this year, show up and show out and show them we don't want him or that sniveling fat ass coward Ted Cruz. Because I was just watching World News Tonight with David Muir, and someone was asking Ted Cruz's sniveling ass, what is, about gun laws. Ted Cruz wants to sit here and say that what the Democrats had, that wouldn't have prevented this. Well, why not sit down with the Democrats and try to figure out a way to tighten these gun laws? And then you had these idiotic Republicans who say, oh, they're not going to take my guns. The thing is, no one is trying to take your guns away from you. What we as Americans want is for these mass shootings to stop. I just talked about one last week, at the Tops grocery store in Buffalo, New York. We want these mass killings to stop. They have got to stop. Innocent people are losing their lives because of what? Nothing. And the question that I keep asking is, what does a person need with an assault rifle? If you are not in the active military, if you are not in a war, you do not need an assault rifle. Like, I just don't understand that. What the hell do you need with an assault rifle? And then Greg Abbott. So back to what I was saying a minute ago. Greg Abbott, he did a press conference yesterday, and it really infuriated me. It pissed me off. It upset me to no avail. So Greg Abbott, he was blaming mental health on this situation, which I'm not saying that the boy didn't have mental health issues, because if you listen to what the people who knew him were saying about him, that he would stalk people, there's this one kid who stopped being friends with him, and he said that the boy threatened to kill him. Then there was one kid that said he texted him telling him what he was wearing at school. And then I also did hear that him and his grandmother had got into it because he's 18. He was supposed to graduate from high school this year, but he still was taking 10th grade classes. So he was also truant. No one said anything. That's the other thing I have an issue with. And he sent some private messages on Facebook Messenger to people. My thing is, if you see something, say something. It won't hurt. But back to what I was talking about originally, Greg Abbott. So Governor Hot Wheels, you want to police what a woman does with her body. You want to police a woman's body. You want Texas citizens, who really, the ones who need something to do with their lives, obviously. You want a Texas citizen to report a woman who's potentially may have gotten an abortion or not. You want a Texas citizen could then sue the woman, sue the doctor. If she took an Uber to get there, they can sue that person. Why can't I, as a Texas citizen, sue a motherfucker who has an assault rifle that I feel may try to harm a large group of people? Why can't I turn that in? Explain that to me. And then you don't want to take the fault for what you did just a year ago. And I talked about this in Hot Topics last year when the asshole did it. Greg Abbott, you signed into law. Because this is how this kid was able to get this damn assault rifle in the first fucking place. You signed a law that allowed Texas citizens to be able to purchase a gun without a license and without going through the proper training. So any person in Texas can carry a gun. And I said last year that was going to be a major issue going forward. And here we are. I don't even know if we're a full year later, but here we are. And we have an issue because he went on his 18th birthday and bought 2 assault rifles. And now we're talking about what he did as a result of that action. And you, Greg Abbott, have the blood of 21 people on your hands. And then you and that sniveling coward, Ted Cruz, as well as you know who, are going to be speaking at an NRA meeting tomorrow in Houston. Mind you, the NRA, they don't want anyone to bring guns into their convention. How ironic. The people who say, don't take my guns, don't want people to bring guns into an event that is for the NRA. The irony, right? That is truly ironic. And you would think that after the events that have, and they were talking about how many mass shootings we've had in this country in this year. And it is way too many. I think they said over 200 something. And we're just in May. We're not even halfway through the year. There are 365 days in a year. How do you have 200 mass shootings over 200 mass shootings in the country? And there are 365 days in a year. I just don't understand it. I'm lost for words, you guys. I really am. But like I said, you would think that after the events that happened at Sandy Hook, those were innocent kids. You would think there have been so many shootings in this country. Columbine, Virginia Tech. It's too many to name. It's way too many to name. Virginia Tech, Columbine, the theater, the Post nightclub, and the Post nightclub, Tops, this one. What else? What else? There are so many more that I can't even think of right now. You would think that at a certain point, both Republicans and the Democrats would get together and say, what can we do to rectify this situation? And I think they said like 80 to 90% of Americans, Republican and Democrats, want tighter gun laws. They want stricter background checks. They want people who are red flagged to not be able to get these weapons. And, you know, I said last week, people with mental health issues. I don't mean everybody. I don't mean everyone, but if you know that a person has issues, if you know that a person has any kind of issue where, if you see the red flags, isolated, they are loners, and I'm a loner, but I'm not isolated. I have friends, so I wouldn't, but if you just see kind of strange, peculiar behavior, I just don't understand it. I really don't. I don't get it. I don't get it, you guys. I really don't. And like I was just saying a minute ago about the parents. These parents, the last day of school was today. The last day of school was today. These kids were preparing to have a great summer ahead of them. Now their parents are having to plan a funeral. They're having to plan a funeral. So I will once again say this to anyone who, I know that I have people who watch me here in Texas. The election is in November. Go to the polls, you guys. Make your voices heard. I know we showed people primarily vote when there's a presidential election, but we gotta vote in these local elections. We gotta vote in these local elections because that's what really matters. President Biden, any president, they can't get anything passed because these people that you elect, they're supposed to represent you. But here in Texas, I don't know who the likes of Wheelchair Whitley and Ted Cruz, John Cornyn, I don't know who they represent because they don't represent me and they don't represent people who look like me. So I just don't know who they represent. I don't know who they represent. And then I'm looking at my notes, you guys. So when this first happened, they wanted to say, do not make this a political issue, but now they're making it a political issue. It's a political issue because you Republicans won't do anything. You're so pro-life, but with these mass shootings, those babies that you've been worried about being born and not being aborted, well, now they've been aborted by a gun, an AR-15. So while you're preaching and protesting about a woman's body and her having an abortion, preach and protest about these assault rifles that have taken the lives of elderly, children, young adults. Protest about that. Preach and protest about that. That's something you need to preach and protest about. That is what you need to preach and protest about. So, also, Beto O'Rourke, I think I might have already said this. He called Wheelchair Willie out on his shit, but then they called him a sick son of a bitch for coming in there with that. He wasn't wrong. He was right. You guys are sitting here holding this press conference, and those parents that their children were murdered. How did you hold a whole? Read the room. Read the room. So I'm almost done, you guys, because I'm getting preachy at this point. But I just do want to say this, reach out, hug your family, hug your kids, hug your loved ones. Because in this world, in the United States, anything. You're not safe at this point. You're not safe anywhere. You can't go to the grocery store. Your kids can't go to school. You can't go to the movies. You can't go to the club. You can't go to church and worship the Lord. You can't do anything now in this country. And for years, I always wondered, I was like 9 or 10 when Columbine first happened. When Columbine happened, and at that time, I didn't understand what was going on. But it was a few years later that I finally understood, because I wanted. This is when Grand Theft Auto first came out. I wanted Grand Theft Auto so bad, and my mom, she was terrified to buy me the game. And I'll tell you guys why she was afraid. You guys know what Grand Theft Auto is. She was afraid to buy me that game because of the situation that happened in Columbine. And I had saved up the money for the game, and I really, really wanted it. It took months to convince her to buy the game for me. And I asked her, why won't you buy me this game? She says, because drama, I know what that game is. Because she wouldn't buy me, because especially the fact that she had to purchase it and I couldn't. She was like, what kind of game is this? And I had to tell her, I'm like, it's a violent game. It's a game where a man, he can pick up a prostitute if he wants to, and he can, you guys know, he can unlive them. And she was like, I don't know if that's a good game for you. She's like, because she was still thinking about what happened with Columbine. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people, because I have saw this on the news, where people do talk about the game Call of Duty. It's not the games that are doing, we shouldn't blame the games, because that's not the game's fault. It's the fault of the person who, I just don't know what to say. But I do know that it took me some time to convince her, because I told her, I know the difference between real and reality. And that game is reality. I would never in my life want to do that to anybody. Never in my life. And then just to wrap up, so yesterday there were some threats here in Dallas. There was a threat at a school at Weatherford, and they said it was an adult who did it, but they've arrested that person. Then there was a school in Richardson, Texas, where a kid showed up to school with a pistol, and he had a replica rifle in his truck. And then there was a kid over there in Fort Worth, same situation. What the hell is going on in this world? What's going on? What's going on? And then also the last thing I want to say to anybody, if you guys watch me and you are in Georgia, you guys vote, vote, vote. Because I watched this clip of that idiot Herschel Walker. The man is a dumbass. So vote him. Don't vote for him. Raphael Warnock, keep him in the Senate. Keep him there. Do not give that to Herschel. All Herschel is he's a old, stepping fetching boy for you know who. But you guys, that is all I got. I can't give any more to this. My heart and my thoughts, my prayers, my well wishes go out to those families who are affected by this, because I just can't imagine what that's like to go into this. And one of those little girls had just celebrated her birthday. She turned 10 years old. And then one little boy, his mom, she literally had just came up to the school because he was on an honor roll and he got a good citizen award. And now his little precious life, these precious lives are gone. But yeah, you guys, that's heavy. But you guys, let's pause here and move forward. All right, you guys. So next up, let's have a little fun now. Let's laugh. I know that first half of the video was heavy. Let's laugh, you guys. Juneteenth, you guys. That is right around the corner. I love me some Juneteenth. I've loved Juneteenth since I was a kid. It is my favorite holiday in the summer, besides my birthday. I love because Juneteenth, it happens, and then a few weeks later, it's my birthday. So I have a good time throughout the summer. Man, if I could take you guys, if you go, when I was in my late teens and early 20s, oh, it was a time for Juneteenth because we would go, like, in my hometown, there are not a lot of clubs, but it would be clubs and Juneteenth parties that we would go to at night. One year, me and my friends, we went to this place called the Corner Pocket, and everybody was out there, and everybody was drunk that year, and I was really drunk, and it was so hot outside, and I got in my car to go home, and everything just came up, and I was like, oh no. But yeah, Juneteenth is around the corner, you guys. So, Walmart had the audacity, and I figured this would happen when they made Juneteenth an official holiday last year. I figured that this would happen, that they would try to capitalize off of it. I figured that would happen, but Walmart decided they wanted to make a Juneteenth ice cream. I was like, what? What the fuck is the flavor, first of all, and then the colors that was on it. I was like, y'all have really lost y'all's goddamn nerve. So I know that there was another company that did something similar, but I couldn't find that company. But what I did find when I was doing my research today was when you search things, it has a commonly searched thing. The commonly searched thing was, why is it, what was it? What was it? Why is Walmart facing the backlash for Juneteenth? It's, and this is my personal opinion. Looking at it from the outside in, one could say that with them doing this, it looks like you're making a mockery of a holiday that we celebrate, and that is celebrating our freedom, from that, because the Texans, and this is Texas, had no idea that they were free. They knew nothing about the Emancipation Proclamation. So it just kind of feels as if it's a slap in the face that y'all are now trying, because y'all hadn't done it for years prior to, but now that the year after it's a federal holiday, now y'all want to monopolize it on it. So that's what the backlash is. It feels like it is pandering. It just feels that way. You guys can let me know what you feel about it. Would you guys have, and also Walmart has now taken it off of the shelves. Let me know in the comment section what you guys thought about that. I thought it was senseless and tacky. It was very tacky. Very, 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 very tacky. All right, guys, let's pause here and move on to the next story. You guys, I'm gonna try to be as nice as I can and not go off on this person, Caitlyn Jenner. So, if anyone has ever questioned if Caitlyn Jenner is for the LGBT plus community, the quick answer to that is fuck no. Caitlyn Jenner might be a transgender woman, but she's also a white woman, and she's also a very privileged transgender white woman. So I don't expect her to understand the plight of her trans sisters, her black trans sisters, her Asian trans sisters, her Latina trans sisters. I don't expect her to understand the plight of her trans sisters that are in this, that are being murdered left and right. I don't understand Caitlyn to understand that, because like I said, she lives a privileged life. She is a rich woman. So I don't expect her to understand anything that the trans community goes through. And I don't know where she did this interview at, but the interview was ignorant as hell. So according to Caitlyn Jenner, she feels that more people are coming out as trans because of how highly publicized it is. And I was listening to that. I'm like, is this woman an idiot, or is she an idiot? Because where is it publicized at? I'm so confused as where it's publicized. I'm kind of confused where it's highly publicized about trans women coming out, or even just trans women in general. When you think of trans women, there are only a select few that come to mind that I can think of. I know Dr. Marcy Bauer. I know Caitlyn Jenner. I know Laverne Cox. I know of what is her name? She is gorgeous. Gorgeous woman. Well, T.S. Madison, but T.S. Madison is not like a big name. What is that young lady's name? She was on that television show Star, and they at one point thought she was going to be on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. What is her name? And she is so beautiful. She is beautiful. Oh my God, I can't even think of her name. If you guys know what I'm talking about, leave it in the comment section. God, I can't think of her name right now. And I can see her face. I can see her face clear as day. Beautiful black woman. I just can't think of her name. It's gonna come to me. What is her name? But she's a beautiful black woman. I keep saying it because I'm trying to think of her name. But yeah, it's not highly publicized, Caitlyn. It's not. What's highly publicized, what you see more focal is the way trans women are treated. You see trans women beaten in the streets. You see more trans women are murdered. That's what you see. So if you're talking about trans women are coming out because it's highly publicized, what trans woman would come out with all that I just said? They're being beaten. They're being beaten and they're being murdered. Who would want to come out to something like that? That's not a celebration. That is not a celebration. So I just didn't understand what she meant by it's highly publicized. And then we're living in a world where these Republicans are passing these don't say gay laws. So where's the publication at? Where's the positive publication? I would love to know the answer to that one. Where's the positive in that? Because I don't see it. If you guys see it, please let me know in the comment section. And if you guys agree with Caitlyn, it's okay if you guys agree with Caitlyn. I don't agree with her, but if you guys agree with her, it's fine. We can have a conversation about that in the comment section, and I have no problems with that. All right, you guys. So let's pause here and move forward.
Legs and hips and body. Let's get 'em, girls. Body.
Legs and hips and body. Let's get 'em, girls. Body. You just saw a clip that I put in here, right? So, how did y'all sit here and let that song come to life? Nothing's wrong with the song because I've been jamming to the song all week long. Baby, y'all gonna. I mean, Candy, like we've been saying, Candy keeps a bag. Candy keeps herself a bag because I think she's in the studio remixing that song. So, hey, legs, hips, and body. Good song though. Speaking of Candy, you guys. So did you guys see Watch What Happens Live this past Sunday where she was on there with Lil Jon? What did I say? Lil Jon. And you know, Andy was asking them who would win a versus between Escape and Destiny's Child. And Lil Jon said he got to go with Escape. Say what? Say who? Now, no shade to Candy and the girls of Escape, because I actually like them too. But if you know me, if you were to know me is to know Destiny's Child is my favorite group of all time. Now, y'all know I love me some Beyonce. Beyonce is my girl. The interesting thing about my history with Beyonce and music, I wasn't always the biggest Beyonce fan. I wasn't a Beyonce fan that I am today. Back when they were in back when it was Destiny's Child, back, so I go all the way back to the original group. Wrong person. Beyonce, Latavia, Kelly, and Latoya. Because my favorite album from Destiny's Child is